This evening we're going to look at Psalm 20, a psalm that I find fascinating to pray. It's a prayer to God. I think pretty much from the beginning. I mean, it's a blessing that I kind of picture that like on inauguration day for the king. I don't know what they call that, when the king became king. As he did that I picture, again, this is just kind of my personal thing. I picture the people reading Psalm 20, reciting Psalm 20 as a blessing on the king. So it's kind of a prayer to God, but it's also it's a blessing on the king. And of course, I mean, it just goes through a bunch of really good stuff. I mean, it goes through, may the Lord answer you in the day of trouble. May he remember all your offerings, your sacrifices. May he grant your heart's desire, fulfill all your plans. So it's just, hey, you're going to be our king for the next 20 years. May it go well with you. And I just find it fascinating because I don't think this is heretical. I think this is okay to do. I've been doing it. So now you know. I pray this and give this blessing or whatever, pray this blessing for Jesus. There, I said it. Of course, he doesn't need our prayer. He doesn't need our intercession. Oh my goodness, not at all. But I think that, as you're standing on the precipice of a new king, if you're in Israel, I mean, your hope is that the Lord will be favorable to your king, because if he's not, it's going to go really bad. I mean, they end up, getting exiled because of the activity of the king. And so the people, their fate was tied directly to the obedience of the king, to the righteousness of the king, whatever. And so I think so is ours. I mean, right? Like, that's actually the Davidic covenant, is that God actually treats us, he has this son that he, exalts to be king over Israel. And the benefit for us is that we now have a righteous king. And however it goes with that king is how it's going to go with us. So that's a really, I don't think about that. I wouldn't think about that normally. I wouldn't think about the question of how is it going for my king unless the Psalms opened that up for me. And so I actually pray this to the Lord kind of sort of on behalf of Jesus, or it's a blessing over Jesus. I haven't worked out all the, exactly how that works. But what it does is it makes you realize that your hope really is in the Father finding favor in your king, which he does. Of course he does. But just because we can take for granted for the fact that, it's God the Son and he's our king and everything's going to go okay, it's good to meditate on the question. It's good to hope in the fact that it will go okay. And so I'm going to read this, and I want you to think about that this is kind of inauguration day, and our king is stepping forward to be crowned king, and we're the people hoping it goes well. And our hope is secure because it's God the Son. Our hope is secure because he is the perfect king. And of course, you can't actually read it. You can go back around and read it again. Because of the benefits to the king, these benefits are ours. And so, the Lord answers us in the day of trouble. The Lord grants us our heart's desire, blah, blah, blah. So pretty incredible psalm for being 9 verses, and a psalm that's such an easy kind of flyover psalm. It packs this massive punch. and just a new way to kind of meditate on redemption. O Lord, my heart is not lifted up. My eyes are not raised too high. I will not concern myself with things that are too great or too marvelous for me, but I have calmed and I have quieted my soul. Like a weaned child with its mother is my soul within me. We are on the sidelines, hoping for the righteous King. Psalm 20. May the Lord answer you in the day of trouble. King Jesus, may the name of the God of Jacob protect you. King Jesus, may God send you help from the sanctuary and give you support from Zion. King Jesus, may God remember all your offerings and regard with favor your burnt sacrifices. King Jesus, may God grant you your heart's desire and fulfill all your plans. May we, your people, shout for joy over your salvation. And in the name of our God, set up our banners. May the Lord fulfill all your petitions. Now I know that the Lord saves his anointed. He will answer him from his holy heaven with the saving might of his right hand. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we trust in the name of the Lord our God. They collapse and fall, but we rise and stand upright. O Lord, save the King. May he answer us when we call. Amen.